Scunthorpe United had lost 4-0 at home to Exeter City this afternoon.
Love it. And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
They've done it! They've done it! It's Maguire Crew! They've done it again, this team!
Grimsby are heading back to the Football League.
So where's the one in the line?
Good evening, everyone. I didn't think Bruce was going to join us, so this could be a bit chaotic. I'm looking forward to his bill later on when the data comes through. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us at the DN35 podcast. We've got so much to get up. Oh, he's gone. We've got so much to get through today, so we will waste no further ado. Hannah, it is wonderful to see you. Great to have you back on the show. How is everything in Caister? Are we meant to say where people... Good.
Good. Yeah, great, thank you. We avoided the flood because we're on a hill, so that was nice.
I assume always the people in Caister are going to start, when the floods do come, they're going to start fighting people off from the lowlands with pitchforks. And everyone will just be having to amass on the on Pelham's Pillar for a bit of breath.
Yeah,
Mike, Mike, great to see you. Feeling okay?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Nice to see you are in France, as you can see.
Out my hotel window, you can see I'm definitely in France.
Yeah, exactly. So you were able to watch the game yesterday, being in France, unlike Hannah, who was lucky enough to go. Paul Hurst called it the worst game of football he'd ever seen and said that it was rubbish. Hannah, what was the overall thought? What were the overall vibes? And was it as bad as he's making it out to be?
It was pretty bad. I wouldn't say the worst, but yeah, it was pretty just boring. Like, yeah, it was like not worth the money from both teams. You know what I mean? It wasn't great until they went 4-4-2, and then you thought if they'd gone 4-4-2 a bit earlier, they might have got a goal. But I think a point each was deserved.
It was an interesting one. I thought we were pretty clumsy is probably the best word that I can describe us as. Hurst, though, was absolutely livid. I don't think I've heard him like that for a while. Mike, what were your overall riding thoughts? I mean, the people coming in and say, Simon says it was terrible. One thing I do like about Hurst is he certainly watches the same game we all do. But what were your overall thoughts?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty bad game. I mean, I wouldn't go quite as far as saying it's the worst game of football I've ever seen. Unfortunately, I've seen Russell Slade here both times, so I know what a bad game of football looks like. I think Sutton play in a certain way, and they play in a certain way because it's effective. I think it took us far too long to work that out and work out how to play and combat that, and we never got going ourselves. So we didn't play well, but we didn't play badly. So it's a draw I'll happily take against a team that are definitely no mugs. And as I say, they play that way because it's effective. And it was effective. So.
What kind of things did they do? I think they were quite they reminded me a lot of Harrogate, that they were Goliaths when they had the ball and you were trying to win it off them. But when you had the ball, they were like Goliaths. But when they had the ball and you got anywhere within an immediate radius, like a car parking sensor, they were down on the floor like a sack of shit.
I think it's something everywhere I've lived seem to play a certain brand of football, don't they? Harrogate and Sutton. I just think they don't like to make the game easy. They don't like the ball on the floor too much. They like to break the game up. Like to be physical. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a certain way to play, and full credit to them. They do it effectively. I just think they look to disrupt the game as much as possible, and you can't really get the ball down and play too much with that. And I think we need to get the ball down and play to see the best of us.
Hurst questioned the team's character against Rochdale at half time, and again this evening after the after the post-match interviews. He said that this is an opportunity for players to show that we don't need to bring in additional players, but games like that suggest that we are crying out for more to bring in to support. Hannah, this is a massively loaded question, I guess, and it's not meant to be, but are the players living up to Hurst's expectations? And if not, where are we failing? Because the record suggests we're not doing terribly.
Yeah, so I mean, this season I've only seen this game and Leyton Orient, so I've not seen that much. But it seems that some players, yeah, they're absolutely fine. Some maybe just need to get going, and perhaps it's the smaller pre-season that is part of that. I don't know, but yeah, some players that you'd expect to be sort of in the mix a bit more maybe just need that couple more games.
I guess positives are a good thing to start with. So I think Green is improving. From what I remember seeing him at Leyton Orient, he was just a mile off the pace, but he looked really good yesterday. Probably my man of the match personally. Won a lot, was involved in a lot, turning the ball over, and was sort of getting better and getting up to the speed that Halifax fans said that the sort of the player we were getting. Clifton made a marked improvement. We've been talking about it. Well, I've been talking about it anyway, saying that, look, get the guy in the middle. He needs to he needs to sink or swim. He's either going to get in the centre of midfield or not. And he helped, sort of improve the middle of the park yesterday. And Peppel, miss aside, we will probably discuss it momentarily, but he was direct. It was effective. He's clearly got a yard of pace on everybody in the back line and will scare the living daylights out of them as long as he's not Akpa until the defenders realise he can't finish. I don't know. There were some positives to take. Mike, you were muted, so I guess you've got a point to make. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at positives, I think I said this last week. If you split the pitch into 3/3, I think the first 2/3 were fantastic. We're very solid. We've kept 3 clean sheets in a row, which is an absolute basic of a Paul Hurst side. If you don't win a game, don't lose it. So that's a positive. We look very strong at the back. The midfield looks good, considering it's a new midfield that haven't played together well. I think last week and a bit this week, you can see that they're trying to get up to speed with each other and how we want to play. And I think if a team plays like a Rochdale in the first half and a Sutton yesterday, if a team plays in a certain way, it seems to take them a while to sort of get going themselves. And I think that will come in time. The problem we do have is the problem we've spoke about quite a few times is the final third. I think when you play Taylor up on his own, although he does a job, there's nobody around him, and we need to try and get people around him a little bit more. Wern was a little bit quiet, but again, that's probably because he's isolated on the wing. So I think looking at the start of the season, we're defensively very solid. We don't look like any mugs. We just need to improve that final third. I think that probably comes with an additional striker or see a McAtee getting fit and back into the team.
Hannah, what do you have any positives to take away from it? Anything we sort of not mentioned or you noticed when you were there? Because probably you're aware of more positioning issues. And Simon said that the wind was deceptive yesterday, quite bad. I mean, if we're going to put a football ground on the coast, I think we've got to stop bitching about the wind. So was it that bad?
So I had lip gloss on and I was constantly like pulling my hair off my mouth. So yeah, it was very windy.
This is something that we all have trouble with.
Me too. Yeah, nightmare.
Was it so? And kind of, I don't know. The wind thing comes up a lot. It's like we do live on the coast. Like, don't put it there. Like,
yeah.
And I don't know. It's just we've got to get used to it. I guess it's the same for both. But
yeah. What I will say, positive wise, is Peppel. If he comes good, he's got the ability to do what Taylor and McAtee do. Like, he'll hold it up, but Annie can run on to ball. Do you know what I mean? He seems, just from that little bit we saw the other day, he seems like, we've got a real player if we do things right by him.
Yeah, And I don't know, Akpa Akpro, I don't like the guy, and it did feel a bit like that when he was trying to finish, like just trying to do too much, and he just needed to put his foot through it. And if he misses, he misses. I think Taylor's miss was worse. You're looking at a more experienced player with a cooler, calmer head on his shoulders, who shouldn't have those pressures of scoring sort of his first league goal. So I was disappointed in that one. And Tom's XG thing that he likes to send around in our WhatsApp group suggested that was the better chance, whatever you may think of XG. Mike, what were you going to say?
I must admit, I liked what I saw from Peppel. Put the miss aside, and I think, young lad, first football league game. He's got far too much time. You don't want that time. You want the decision to be made for you. So I think he's just got in his own head. But putting that aside, I loved what I saw from him. He's a lot more of a unit and a bit bigger than I thought he was. He really looks like he can put himself about. And what I like from him is he seems to have a really good first touch. The ball sort of stuck to him. And when he gets that with his back to goal, he's not looking to play off anybody. He's looking to try and turn his man and run at somebody. Now, as a young 19-year-old, he's going to be very raw, but he can probably also progress quite quickly. So we may have a player there, if we can use his assets of he's got a bit of pace, looks like he's got a decent finish, and he likes to be a bit direct and a bit physical. I think he has the potential to be a good player. I think in terms of both the misses, you've had both those chances go to the wrong player. So Peppel's just on the pitch, bit cold, not up with the run of the game. You'd have preferred Taylor to maybe have that one. And then at the end, I think Taylor's just absolutely knackered. He's taken a poor touch and he can't get there. So roles reversed, you'd probably want the other striker having both those chances, to be fair.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually. Josh said that. You're sorry, mate?
Or McAtee on both.
Oh, McAtee. Well, Hurst said he'd have won man of the match yesterday.
Yeah.
And I mean, his injury operations apparently has gone ahead. He doesn't know much about it. It's all been done by Luton now, which I guess we don't have to pay the medical bill at least. But it was if we're not going to have him, if we're not going to get him back before Christmas, shall we say, to be positive, what do we need another guy? Do we need another striker in? I don't know how far Orsi is away from fitness. If anyone from the club can message in and say.
We'd have to see a bit more of Orsi. I mean, I've only seen him second half of Clee Town game, and you can't really judge much on that, can you?
No, I mean, I've spoken about Orsi before. I mean, if you look at his numbers, the same season Tushminga scored all those goals, he scored the same number. So I think we can't write off the fact we do have a striker that has the potential to score goals. I think it's blindingly obvious we need another option up there, especially with how the window works. If we have a similar injury crisis to what we've got at the minute, we don't have enough firepower up there. In terms of McAtee, I think if we're not going to have that player like John McAtee behind the striker, I think it is worth maybe having a look at two up front for a time now. It gives us a great chance with Taylor and Peppel. Let's have a look at two up front and not the man behind, and let's go a more basic 4-4-2 and see how that does us. We seem to be very strong in the centre of the park, but we've got three centre midfielders and they can't get up and support Taylor as much. So I'd like to see two up top now.
So go through some. So Daniel Lewis is, he's setting the bar low. He's saying one big positive is I don't see us going down and out. Defence is solid. I mean, at least our defence is solid, unlike our neighbours up the road. Beating Solihull Moors isn't for everybody. One thing, this was a conversation we had as well about on the podcast WhatsApp group. I thought Hurst said about the grass being long. Is that right? Or you guys were talking about the pitch? Have I misconstrued what you were all talking about?
We thought he meant the grass was too high.
Yeah.
I originally thought he meant the grass was too high. And then when I put it in the group, I sort of second guessed myself. And I'm thinking, is he meaning we've made the pitch too long, so we're too deep? And some people seem to think that's what he meant. It would be odd for him, looking at Paul Hurst, it'd be odd for him to call out the groundsman in an interview. That doesn't sound too much like him.
He was pissed with everybody though yesterday. I did not. We did message Scott because Scott's doing the interviews for Mariners TV after hearing the Humberside one. Going, good luck, mate. You'll enjoy this one. But he looked. Yeah. Oh, James is trying to. James, finish off the message. Definitely said grass was long. Great. So Adam agrees with. Well, that's an interesting one. It did look nice though, the pitch, and maybe given the rain it had, it wasn't able to be cut in time without making it a mud bath.
They did have the sprinklers on pre-match, which was brilliant.
I mean, it's a shame we haven't talked about Carlisle enough, but I did find the article where a couple of seasons ago the Carlisle manager was absolutely ripping into the state of the town pitch, saying it's not professional standard. It was too dry. They don't have sprinklers on it. I mean, the Goldilocks of football. Like they don't too dry, too wet. They don't know what they want up there. So unless it's 3 feet of water, they don't really understand what they need. So Ollie says either 2 up front or more narrow wingers. Pepper will get a goal and everything changes. He'll score 15. I think, yeah, Nick, that finish yesterday just looked a bit like he was overthinking himself. A player who'd already scored 1 or 2 would just put their foot through it and they'd be fine. James says, by the pitch being long, does he mean the defence sitting too deep? That was the other thing, but I think it's just, he meant long grass, I think. It's interesting.
4-4-2, like more permanently, who's dropped? Who do you reckon?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Probably Kiernan, maybe.
I was thinking Morris, but this is only based on the 2 games I've seen. I don't know.
We all know Hurst likes the centre midfielder on the wide left anyway. He did that on his first time. So maybe he drops a winger and just asks Glennon to bomb on a little bit more and give that width in the attacking third. He's done that lots and lots of times.
So, I mean, our colleague and of this parish, Tom, has been trying to irk everybody into becoming a referee this week, saying stop badgering them, stop saying what a spade is a spade. When you see a shit decision, don't call it a shit decision. The referee called a free kick yesterday for absolutely nothing when Town scored. Am I wrong in that opinion? I couldn't see a Sutton player within about 5 yards of the keeper punching it into his own, a Town player within 5 yards of the Sutton keeper punching it into his own net. Guys on the comments tell me otherwise as well.
I was in the pontoon, so I had no.
That's fair. That is fair. I mean, you probably made as much of an informed decision as the referee. Mike, being in France, I know you were a lot further away than Hannah, but you had a different angle. What were your thoughts on it?
I think it's one of those things you see quite a lot. And it doesn't usually lead to a goal, so it's not as controversial. He's had a long word with them in the centre of the penalty box before the free kick's taken. He's dying to give a free kick for anything. He's given the free kick, and it just so happens we score from it. I don't think, looking back, and I've watched it a few times, I cannot see a single thing that is remotely close to giving a free kick for. Can't see even a controversial bit of pulling or shoving. It just looks so clear there is nothing there to give. So I think he's had a word because something's happening in the box and he just wants to give a free kick and he's made his mind up.
Adam, that's an interesting one. I'll have to watch it back because I've watched it a few times now. There was a Town player before the kick was taken and then he moved away from the goalkeeper. And when the goalkeeper moved, I thought there was a sort of a good 5 yards or so between him. I think he fell over his own keeper, his own defender, to try and get to the ball and just punched it into the net. But let's just for a minute comment on Glennon's corners because they are wonderful, and he's going to put one in the net from a corner at some point because he can get some whip on him, can't he?
He's nearly done it 2 or 3 times now, hasn't he? Already.
Yeah, they're brilliant, and it's great to see we've got a player like that on the pitch. The ref, there was a few corners, to be fair, that the ref ruled out for pushing, and the ones down the pontoon end there was quite a lot. So I don't know.
It's a really interesting one, and it's one that I don't know. Is the standard of refereeing getting worse? I don't necessarily think so. I remember us having stinkers in sort of 10, 20 years ago. I think the rules are less sort of clear cut, and I also think referees now are on the side of caution rather than just letting the game flow. So you'll have quite a lot where Harrogate and Sutton are brilliant at this, where a little bit of shoulder barging is not dealt with.
Yeah, and I guess when teams are very vocal towards the ref, sometimes that pushes the ref to make a decision as well.
I must admit, I think it's because we seem to have had a couple of bad ones quite early on. If you had a few of these over a longer space of time, maybe not. So hopefully it does get better. But looking at the three we've had, 3 or 4 we've had in the league, it does seem to have gotten worse to me, but I might just be, misremembering it. But yeah, definitely. Each game we've had, I don't think the referee's influenced the game, but I think he's, as in the result, but I think he's influenced the flow of the game too much and made decisions on both sides badly. Just because he makes a decision, he's consistent being inconsistent doesn't make it right.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Is there anything else we need to talk about on the match before we move on and look towards Tuesday? All in all, the season's looking pretty good. We've played quite a few of the top 3 or 4 already. I don't know if Crew count, but we hammered them. Played Orient, drew in Northampton. So all in all, everybody pretty happy with the start to the season so far, or any other glaring issues? Hannah.
Well, as long as we get a couple more players, the ones that Hurst is after, then yeah, no complaints from me.
Really quick one as well before Nick says, what do we think about JMD not playing? Paul Hurst comments on his work rate without the ball not being good enough. Yeah, Hannah sees more of it than I do because he tends to focus on the ball. What are your thoughts? Because he scores, he gets in and about.
It's a tough one because he is who you would want. Like when you're in certain positions, you want him to put the ball in, but for the rest of the game, he just kind of lurks a little bit, and like I don't like bad-mouthing players, but sometimes you just feel like he'll only run if he thinks he's got a chance of a bit of glory. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if it's 100% his work rate. I think probably something is. He's probably not switched on enough. He's one of these that needs Jocelyn and his fullback telling him exactly what to do. There's obviously we all seen probably a little bit of work rate in there, but I think Hurst probably means more about his state of mind during the game, about running and getting back into, or knowing he needs to run and get back into a shape. So I think it's sort of twofold.
Well, that is the game. Well, right. Coming up in a second, we've already beaten the black and white half of Nottingham. It's time to beat the red half. And then after that, we're going after the ice hockey team as well. And then we'll make Stuart Broad cry. So after this quick break, we'll be back with Ryan from the Forever Forest podcast to tell us what to expect from what used to be an old championship game as Town face Forest in the League Cup. That's more abrupt than I thought it would be. Good evening, Brian. Nice to have you along.
It's Ryan, mate. And just in case you got a Brian on it, I know. Yeah, I've got no. It's all right. It's all right. I've had it since I was a kid, mate. How are you? Nice to see you all.
Yeah, you're good. Thank you. Not too local over here. Is that right?
Not the minute, mate. I'm in Pune in India, so it's very dark outside. It's about midnight, so nice to. I'm all over the shop of my head at the minute, but yeah, nice to chat to you.
I can absolutely imagine it. I guess the first question is how you guys are feeling now. Obviously, back in the Prem, sort of where you feel like you need to be. Is everything all right at Forest now? Then everything going in the right way. Ownership not under a concern anymore. Moving in the right direction.
No, I mean you see where it's meant to be. I just saw a thing the other day saying it's 29 years since Forest 5, Grimsby 3, which I remember because I'm that vintage. So I was wondering where Mendonca's gone and Siva Geige and all this business. I've got a really weird. For those who you don't know who are listening in, I'm from Skeg originally, so it's my kind of connection with it all is actually Grimsby's always been sort of a weird big part in my life with Forest in a way. So I'm one of them you've got on here who's not, there's no divine right of where we are, you know. It's 23 years since we've been there and it's still a bit weird, if I'm honest. It's still like, why are we on this programme and why are these people talking about us? Because we sort of become accustomed to the championship after so long, which I know a lot of people would say is a blessing compared to where you could be in the leagues. But it's been really weird. Some of the managers and chairmen, or some of the managers, about 700 of them. But yeah, at the minute, there's a lot written about what we've spent and what we've done, but we lost a lot of players when we come up. I think we went up by mistake in lots of ways. The way Cooper did it was like, oh my God, you know, the infrastructure, trying to get the ground changed. There's not enough staff in the ticket office. These sound like problems, mate. And I appreciate when we're in League One, you'd be like, shut up to people who are in the Premier League doing that. So they're nice problems, but it felt like a bit of a catch up. And I think the owners have gone, the owner Olympiakos, if people didn't know that, and they've just gone, this is what we do, throw money at it. So I'm happy with the manager because I think he's the one who's got to bring them all together and gel them. So it's still bizarre, put it that way.
Yeah, I can imagine. Is the League Cup a bit more of a sort of a nuisance rather than a divine sort of gift at the moment? I would imagine there'll be plenty of changes on Tuesday night, but fans
really
wanting it.
Well, yeah, do you know what? Really honest with you, not to me, because again, I was brought up. I got into Forest first about 88, 89, so it's kind of something we want, and it's with a history. My granddad was a Wednesday fan, so I went to Wembley to see Wednesday beat Man United with him in '91. So it's always been a cup that I think deserves more love than it gets, you know. And actually, when we come up this year, I was like, survive. Well, first of all, beat Derby's 11 points. That's the number one. Get 12 points. Hopefully, I'm fully behind the Mariners coming up for the game after us. Anything but the sheep. And then after that, it was survival. But in a weird way, I kind of thought the League Cup was something we might have a run at. And then it was Grimsby, and I was like, I don't know. You know, it's kind of the Lincolnshire lad in me's going off, bloody hell. So I cannot imagine that, even though we have got 7,000 players now, that it will be anything like what we saw at Goodison on yesterday, or whatever day I'm on now. I can imagine it'll be a lot more of the youth lads, probably Lyle Taylor, who we're trying to get rid of, and it'll be that kind of ilk. But, you know, still quality, but I don't think Cooper will be crying if we did go out, you know.
It's an interesting one. Forest is always the one that I have a close to my heart as well. But it's for the 4-3 that we won is probably the most entertaining game I've ever been to. Two red cards, a penalty, Dave Besant sent off, own goal, keeper, referee got knocked out. Absolutely brilliant game. And I guess it's two teams as well where it's been 20 years since we both played each other, but both grounds look almost identical to when we last played one another.
Yeah, I don't think we've just got plans through to make for those of an older vintage, what was the main stand is now the Peter Taylor. That's meant to be being done at the end of this season. So yeah, I've got. It's really funny actually when the draw come in, and I hope no one will want to hunt me down if I'm ever back in Skeggs seeing my mum. But actually, I was saying that I was at London Park when we were about to get promoted, I think, with Frank Clark back after Clough had gone down, and I was only 11 or 12, and I might remember this wrong, but I got stuck down one end of the away end, and you couldn't get back out. This is the way I saw it at the away end at Grimsby. That you'd have to get through all the fans, and it was rammed, and we were about to go up on this, so I had to pee against the wall, and I sort of vandalised with urine your ground, and I wish it was Derby. I do apologise profusely.
Don't worry, Holloway did worse. Yeah, it's an issue. What are you kind of hoping to see? Are there any youngsters we should be aware of? Do you expect them to play a strong squad? I don't know what's Steve Cooper like when he plays in cup games. Obviously, he had that run with the FA Cup last year.
Yeah, that was a bizarre thing in a way, because that kind of self-perpetuated and wasn't really meant to. I don't think. I think it was beat Arsenal and we just started rolling. Really, I think he's a believer in success breeds success. I don't know how he'll feel if it's his young lot. We've got Gary Brazil there, who's been in charge of our youth for absolutely ages, and Andy Reid, former Forest player, now working actually more with the first team, but he'd been with the under, I think, 17s and 18s as well. We've had a fine history of it. You know, if you think of Jermaine, well, Genus as he was, but Genus now as he's known to everyone, Michael Dawson, the Protestant, and there's tons of them. We've come through and had to sell at various times. Note to Derby fans, you sell your players to survive, not cheat. There you go.
I'll be honest. I'll tell you something. There's a lot of similarities here. Two clubs on the up, absolutely ripping shit into their financially woeful neighbours. There are some similarities here.
That's what they're there for, pal. It's going to be. I think the category systems and where they've gone like that in terms of the youth development is good at Forest, but I think it will be. It's going to be a good atmosphere, full-blooded sort of game. I'm sure Grimsby will be going right at them. And Forest will. So many people I know cannot wait to go because it's been so long. It's been a local. There's a lot of Nottingham folk on the coast where I grew up. I'm sure it's a team that you must probably know people where you're from yourselves who support Forest. It's kind of that Midlandsy kind of thing, isn't it? So it'll be a good night for it. And unfortunately, from India, it's a bit of a commute for me. So I hope you all have a good one with it.
I mean, it'll be no further than anyone trying to get the train from Manchester. It's I guess Hannah, you might know, being the case correspondent, is Dean Henderson staying at his nan's, or is he not coming?
I don't know. His nan does.
Yeah, his nan lives in Caister. That's why he came on loan to us, because he had free lodgings, I think.
Oh, I know then. No, not a clue.
Yeah, it'll be brilliant to have him back. I don't know about you guys, but when we went to play Portsmouth, he was on FaceTime to someone directing the fans chanting when he'd gone back to United, which was quite funny. But hopefully he'll play. I don't know. He's unless Jack Lester comes on as a chance to wave at everybody.
I was trying to think who else we've ever shared throughout time. Jack Lester's the one I used to really just the first one who springs to mind, really. But I think he'll be, because Wayne Hennessy's the sub keeper now, because all the keepers have changed. So I think you might see Jordan Smith potentially as the third keeper. I don't know. Maybe he'll put Hennessy in because he's, realistically, if Henderson's playing well, he's only playing Hennessy against Man United. So I know it sounds awful for him, but I think you'll probably see Welsh international Wayne Hennessy in nets.
That's nothing bad with a Welsh international keeper. Good. Apart from Kingsley Black, Brian Laws, there's a few.
Yeah. And I remember, I don't know if anyone remembers that 5. I remember that 5-3 being in the Trent end. It was your keeper. Was it Crichton?
Well, are we talking about the air kick?
Yeah, I really remember that. And when you confuse things in your head, and was Clive Mendonca as dangerous as I always thought he was? I thought he was back in the day.
He's absolutely brilliant, and obviously Andrew Niles mentions Gary Birtles, of course, who will I assume will be on co-coms somewhere.
They've moved him more into that kind of like pull him out for official meetings and the top radio stuff now. So yeah, we have Laws, or Steve Hodge.
He'll be doing his Sophie's Choice thing, I think, of trying to pick the team that he wants to win. But you can't begrudge us. I mean, I don't know how you feel about the black and white side, the more Nottingham side of the teams in the city, but they slightly hurt.
They're like a little brother. I mean,
we punched them in the face.
Yeah, good. Well, he probably deserved it. Stole the pocket money. I mean, if we're in the same league, we care. They care all the time. I think more it is. But we wish them well. When they were dying, we went around with a bucket and tried to give them some money. But when we were in trouble, they want us to die. So it's one of them. And now we are the oldest team in the league because they've gone down again. So
that was it, isn't it? 'Cause it's either you or Stoke, and you both had to fight in a car park for it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know where Stoke get that from. Do you know what? It's a really weird one. But do you know what? I feel like I should own this up as well, because years ago I bought a programme from Forest playing Skegness Town before Cloughie took them up, and I bought it for like £2 off eBay, and I saw the funds went to the Grimsby Town. Like, it was a thing to make money for Grimsby, and I felt awful when I saw it had come from. So I said to myself, I can find I've got a Ciba Geigy blue Grimsby away shirt with a rubber button on it. I think it's really old.
Lovely. Yeah.
And it won't fit me for crap because I'm massive now. But if I can find it, I do want to try and do something where it goes to proper Grimsby fans and gets out there, because it's proper, like, the white collar blue thing with that on it.
What we'll do then,
keep in touch.
If you find it, message us, and what we'll do is we'll do like a little raffle on it for charity.
Yeah, let's do something where it goes to some good rather than being in my mum's cupboard.
Well, I guess do we have to ask? We don't usually do previews that often. Do we do prediction stuff? What do you think is going to happen? I assume you'll hammer us, but
no. I mean, you tell me. Grimsby, how much does it matter to you at the minute? Does it matter because it's more of a locally one, or do you think they'll go for it? Big, fans going up for it because it's Forest or whatever. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I just mean because it's
It's an interesting one. I'm of your sort of generation, so to me, it's a Division 1 league game. To the youngsters who've been, I say youngsters, Hannah, who's been watching the club for 20 years and has had to live off Rushton and Diamond and Solihull Moors.
Proper fan.
Yeah, exactly.
This is champagnes one like Alex with his championship days, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Alan Poughton. What about you? Yeah, Hannah, how are you feeling? Because that's a better, and Mike as well, I guess.
Yeah, I'm well excited because it's the biggest team I've seen at Blundell Park. There was a couple, was it Tottenham earlier?
Yeah, Spurs and Newcastle.
But I didn't go to those two. So, this literally is the biggest game I've seen at Blundell Park. So, yeah, I think we're going to get hammered, but we'll be well up for it.
That's what you want to hear.
Yeah, it'll be one of those things where we're singing heroically at the end, or like the Palace game where they clap us off because we conceded in the 97th minute or whatever it is. But it'll be great.
I don't think anyone really probably thinks they're going to win it out of either of us. I really don't think we will. So it's kind of like it's just a bit of a free for all down by the coast, isn't it? Let's get some good fish and chips and have a run at each other.
As long as there's no Forest fans drinking from like 10 a.m. and then we're wondering why there's a citron that's been thrown across Grimsby Road at some point.
Yeah,
we'll be absolutely fine. But it'll be a good one. And thank you so much for coming on, Ryan. Enjoy India.
Yeah, I will just get out of it. Just survive, mate. Get back as much as I can. But no, listen, all the best for the season. It is. It's a club that I do really always look out for, and I hope they do all right with it. So all the best for season for you lot, and I won't do me Skegness thing of people down the coast going codheads and this stuff. I'll definitely get behind it, and if I see that shirt, mate, I'll be in touch. And all the best for Tuesday, and especially playing them sheep. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Where can we find your podcast?
So we're the at Forever Forest Pod on Twitter. And yeah, I think sort of similar vibe to yourself. We don't try to do all the chin scratching. Ooh, what about the tactics on this? As me, 2 girls, 2 lads, one in America, one in the UK. We've had like the CEO on, Dane Murphy. We've had all sorts of people on, random people who painted that stand, and we just try and make it a bit irreverent, a bit silly catchphrases, try and make it a bit fun for fans, really. So yeah, Forever Forest Podcast on your finest podcast availability service, whatever you use. So yeah.
Perfect. Enjoy yourself. Thank you very much, Ryan. Speak to you soon.
All the best, guys. Keep safe.
Bye. Oh, well, there's a man that is positive of it. I think Forest fans have got the same sort of nervous disposition that we do. It'll be interesting to see what's going on. What are your thoughts on it, Hannah, then? Obviously, this is the biggest team you've ever seen at town. Tickets already booked and stuff. And how's the family getting with it? Excited?
Yeah, very excited. I'm just going with Hugh, and then my dad's off with his mate. But yeah, we're just looking forward to it. Whatever the outcome, it'll be a good game, and I think a really good atmosphere as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, what are your thoughts on the Forest game as well? It feels like it's crept up on me a little bit, and it's like, oh yeah, we've got to play Forest from this time. It'll be interesting to see. Actually, I'll have a look who we played this time last year in the National League compared to Forest.
Might be a bit of a controversial opinion, but I'm not really that bothered about it, to be honest. Probably.
You're going for the Tom idea of it's a crap draw.
No, do you know what? No, it's not. It's a good. It's just because I'm not there, mate. I think I'll try and distance myself, especially when we have these big nights at Blundell Park and you can't make it. You sort of, for your own state of mind, you're like, I just, it's not that bothered anyway. But it's good to finally have a Premiership team back at Blundell Park since we played Newcastle. I know we've played away at Palace and Chelsea, but yeah, it'd be a good one for the people going. Good atmosphere, good chance for a lot of the younger fans to see Premier League players. I think it depends on the team they play, how the game goes. If they play a reasonably strong 11, we're probably going to struggle. If they mix it in with a few kids, you never know your luck.
I like the idea that Waterfall will tell that Jesse to Lingard to fuck off like he did against
doing
Wrexham.
the Mullen. Yeah, doing the Mullen.
It's well, I guess last season we didn't start till late, so the closest game was Weymouth at home. So it's a bit of a change. Weymouth now of the National League South instead of Premier League Nottingham Forest a year apart. It's a bit of a change. But if we get through, a bit of cash, I assume we won't get much this time round because the ground is packed anyway, isn't it? And it's looking to be an actual sellout. And I assume it'll still be 6,500.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad someone laughed at that
one. Sorry, it took me a while though, mate. Yeah.
It's like a Bermuda Triangle. Yeah, 6,500. Yeah, 6,500. It's an interesting one. It's certainly a Bermuda Triangle. Yeah, I guess. Is there anything else we want to do before we get on to the draw? Or are we good? Right. Okay. I've actually got a thing for this as well. I've got to set this up and everything. Hang on. Give me 2 minutes. There we go. Right. That was worth it. Yeah, that's it. Now we're all done. Look, first and foremost, thank you all so much, whoever put in for tickets for a raffle and everything. It's been really good. What we've been able to do is pay for the podcast to be used by this system and Canva and the like for the year, and we put some money aside for next year as well. I don't know where we are with merchandise. I think it's probably a bit disingenuous of us to come out asking for money for merchandise when a cost of living crisis is about to come along. So we've given 150 quid to the disabled charity, the Supporters Trust, and we'll also doing our sort of kickabout thing as well, which I saw Lincoln City were doing as well, which is a great thing. And Bruce and Ian will keep you updated on what they're going to do. They found a pitch. We've just got to book it wholesale, buy some balls, and you guys can get down there and we'll pass some more information on when we get there. But until then,
have they got some cheap balls going down at Cheapside that are slightly out of shape?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, here's a good thing. Okay, so you've all seen that We Hate Codheads picture that is going around the round. First and foremost, I don't like the club using the word we. If the club officially printed that, that's a bit mean, isn't it? You shouldn't hate us, especially, and this is the source that we've had, is that the numbers that were used were given to the club by Grimsby Town because we don't need our National League numbers anymore, unlike Scunthorpe, who actually probably won't need them to anytime soon either if they keep going at the rate they are. But you're welcome. You're welcome. I don't know what else we can say about it, but thank you so much. For everybody who's raised some money. It's a load of stuff. It really is appreciated. We've raised well over £1,000. I wasn't expecting it. I was just expecting enough to sort of keep us going and not have to pay it monthly. But so everybody who's put a £5 in for a ticket, even if you haven't put a £5 in, you put £3, £2, whatever, you've got a ticket on this raffle. And we've got any number of prizes. Give me a second. I'm going to roll it up. Here we go. There we are. Can you see that? Now, there we are. Here is a proper draw. This is how technical this is. And we've got...
God, how long is that going to take?
Don't worry. It's not everybody. So if you put a £5 in and so for example, a couple of people put in a large amount, they've got a denomination of £60 divided by 5 and like the first prize on the draw. And I'm slightly worried because I've seen Sarah Cook on here, who is based in the States. And I'm Sarah, I love you, but you're not getting your prize because it'll cost as much as it is to send it out as what we raised. So next time you're over in Grimsby, you can have it if you win anything. But the first one is this tankard, this beautiful Grimsby tankard that I was given as a work present that I don't want, and you can have it. So this is it. This is the first one. Who's gonna? It's either that or you get Bruce's. You get Bruce's one. Here we go. So the first one. Who is going to win this one? This is brilliant. Oh, hang on. Luke Clarkson, a tankard is heading your way. If I've got your details, brilliant. If not, I'll drop you a message and we'll go from there. I better write these down, actually. We need a producer, really. If anybody wants to be a producer, please feel free. Luke Clarkson. I can't spell your name. Sorry, mate. Great. Well done. Who's the next? What next prize have we got? I mean, we need more. The Wembley. So we've got an unused Wembley 98 ticket and a picture of a Grimsby Town Football Club player. I can't remember who it is, which was kindly donated. So this feels like a Tommy Cooper joke. This does. Where is that picture gone? It must be downstairs. I think it's of Simon Ramsden, but we'll check. But anyway, you get the Luke's very excited.
Luke, he's so happy, Luke. Go on, lad.
But you also get the 98 unused Wembley ticket for the Auto Windscreen Shield final. Granted, it is in the Bournemouth end, but I don't think you'd be able to redeem it now anyway. But amazing stuff. Who's going to be the person lucky enough to get this memento? Oh, hang on, I'm doing this wrong. Of that great thing. We need sort of an underbelly of tension music really, don't we? Oh, who's going to get this one? Mike Elias, congratulations. You have a free ticket to the 1998 Auto Windscreen Shield final winging its way to you. It is not a concession. It is a full adult ticket. You'll be able to get in, enjoy the game, and I hear it goes quite well. So you are very much welcome. That is winging its way to you. Again, if I've got your details, I'll just send it out to you in the post. If not, give us a quick DM and we'll get it sorted. Luke's absolutely buzzing. He never wins anything.
We want a picture of Luke drinking from it sent in, please.
Yeah, exactly. I will clean it. I promise, Luke. It'll go in the dishwasher. This one. Oh, hang on. What are we winning here? I've pressed it already. This is for the Kickoff magazines and a poster for what grounds you visited. I'm really sorry. And that goes to Tom Heatherhill. Tom, congratulations. You have won both the Kickoff magazines from the 90s from Bruce and also, it's not scratch and sniff, but it's a poster where wherever ground you visit, you can scratch it off and say you have been there. It does include Glanford Park, I'm afraid, but you can probably Tipex over it. But congratulations. You have won that prize. The next prize is wonderful. It has been donated by Graphic Bomb. who used to do the programs and stuff and done the program covers in the past. They have sent us a wonderful gift of some prints and digital, a couple of digital prints that you'll have, and they'll be sent to you. They're brilliant. They're absolutely cracking. Thank you so much for sending them in, guys. And the winner of that prize is, don't be Sarah. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Doesn't Majid live in America as well? Isn't he GTFC USA?
Yeah, you ain't getting a mate.
Majid, when you're over, you can have them. I will check to see if not, will you take a digital version of the copy?
we can ask when California Mariner's over next and give them to him to take back.
Yeah, because everywhere in America is really close.
It's only small. Like you just pop over the road and pass them on. Yeah.
It's basically just as far, the furthest it is like from Scunny to Louth. So
yeah,
it'll be absolutely fine. Congratulations from winning that. We will check on that one. But the one that everybody wants to win is up next. You have the opportunity of a lifetime to win Bruce's Muhammad Ali can't be sold on Facebook Marketplace print. He wasn't saying, but it's a framed image, a framed picture. So this better not be going to the States as well. I'm going to be broke. Who is going to be the lucky so-and-so that gets this?
I don't know how I feel about us losing this. This is my favorite.
It better be Bruce that wins it.
Go on.
Matthew Harker, congratulations. You've got one of the greatest pictures the world has ever seen. I'm really sorry, bastard, mate, but you can't take it back. You've won it. Congratulations. We will also send you something proper in it. I think Bruce is going to try and get some players to sign it. Maybe Paul Linwood. And you can have that instead. But congratulations, Matthew. That poster is coming your way. And I think he'll even throw in the picture frame as well. So, I mean, that's valuable. Now.
Take it out and put something nice in frame.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want me to do it again, Adam? Right, proper prizes, everybody. Proper prizes. So this is a 2005-2006 signed Grimsby Town shirt donated by Jack Spring, who is on here as well. So I hope he wins it. But he's kindly donated it in. You'll be able to, it's a brilliant one, signed a picture. In fact, I've got an image of it. If you win it, I'll send it to you so you know what it looks like. Win a prize of Joss better not win anything as well. I'm sure Norway's not easy either. And the winner is, oh, that was close. James Rudd. Congratulations, James. You've won the 2005-2006 Grimsby Town signed shirt. That is winging its way to you. And if we've got your details, I'll send it out to you. Or hopefully you'll live quite local and we can, just pass it over instead of having to send it in the post. Now, the one that everybody now wants. This is the cursed shirt that was formerly worn of Paul Linwood, so there's no sweat on it or anything. But we've redeemed it. It has now got some of the greatest Town players ever to have signed it. John McDermott, Paul Groves. Paul Groves, for some reason, signed the back of it instead of the front, but, he was never... He does what he wants. Alan Buckley, Danny Boschel, Liam Hearn, Sean Cunnington, Nathan Jarman, Livo, Danny North, Tony Gallimore, who's that? Matty Bloomer, Josh Gowland. So many great players on it. I won't let you out. You can have a look through it and you can see who wins it. This has been a year in the making, this one. Don't worry about it, Joss. Here we go. The final winner, actual winner. Martin Brock, congratulations! You have won the uncursed shirt. Congratulations, and thank you everybody for taking part. We'll probably do one of these to raise charity or something, especially if that Forest guy is sending over a Seba Geige shirt. But thank you so much. We Chips is few. Ollie Hodson wants to know what size is it. Hang on, it's an area one, so make of that. It's a large, so he's what, an extra small. XXS. exactly. Congratulations, everybody. I'm just going to double check that, put it in. Perfect. So, winners were Luke Clarkson. You've won a tankard, and I'll find you something else you can have as well in that, mate. The 98 ticket is gone to Mike Elias and a picture as well. Kickoff magazines and a ground poster has gone to Thomas Heatherhill. The graphic bomb prize pack has gone to Majid, and Bruce's Muhammad Ali poster has unfortunately gone to Matthew Harker. No backsies. James Rudd has won the 2005-2006 signed shirt, and Martin Brock has won the Uncursed Legends one. Amazing. Thank you all so much for joining in with that. That felt like a proper competition for a minute. Thank you, Andrew. It was exciting, wasn't it? I needed music though. Brilliant. Can I breathe?
I sense a hint of sarcasm.
How dare you? We are the the number one English non-league podcast.
With the number one Grimsby Town podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Until the COD pod come back, then we're fucked. Well, I mean, is there anything else we need to talk about at all? Josh says next year, I hope for a used car from Dixon's Motors. Alex maxing out the credit card, mailing out the USA this week. Have you seen the electricity bills? It's already maxed out, James. These lights don't keep themselves on, when it's a speed brochure on. Oh, that was won by a bloke in Tamworth, Ollie. I'm really sorry. Great. Is there anything else we need to talk about before we go away and leave these people to their evenings?
I think this week the Wrexham programme airs. I'm pretty sure I saw an advert for it the other day.
That's the end of it. Yeah, it must be.
That's going to be brilliant. I didn't hear it.
The last episode.
Of what? Oh, Wrexham. Yeah, absolutely. 25th.
Yeah, Thursday then.
And if you want to know, I found a way of getting Disney Plus for the year for 18 quid. So if you need that, I can send you the details on that as well. So you
are we all
don't
going
have
on
to...
your login?
Is it Disney that it's on?
Yeah, Disney Plus.
Sorted.
There you go. James wants to know if it ends with Waterfall telling Mullen to fuck off. Hopefully. Daniel Lewis wanted to know, why is there a badge sideways on my door? It is a 2013 Carlsberg Trophy final flag that is nowhere else to go but there. And it's one that's spelt correctly, so it's better than some of the other ones, which is brilliant. I don't know if anyone else remembers that, but great. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you for those who. Congratulations to everyone who won. Enjoy Forest away. Hannah, it's been a privilege. Great to have you back on.
Thank you. It's Forest at home though.
Forest at home, that's it. Oh.
It's going well, isn't it, pal?
Yeah. I'm going to go broke sending that thing to the States, aren't I? Mike, pleasure to have you on as well. How much is it from France to the States?
A shitload.
Bonjour, monsieur Chevrolet, l'ensemble dans United States, s'il vous plaît.
It's further away, so it's more money.
Oh, balls. Brilliant. It'll probably get there quicker though. Mike, pleasure. Thank you very much. And thank you all for watching as well. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back. We might probably do something straight after the Forest game, especially if we win. But we'll speak to you all soon. Thank you all so much for joining us, and see you later.
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! 1130